So transportation is going through, I believe, a renaissance to really sort of going back to understanding what transportation was about from the early years, if you will. And transportation is a means to an end. It's ultimately about people. But part of that renaissance that we're experiencing is also a significant transformation or a transition, if you will, on the innovation front. And there are many things happening in several different pockets. From the automobile space, it's the most commonly used form of transportation in this country and in California. But in the automobile space, ZEVs, zero emission vehicles, for example, are becoming a core part of how transportation is growing in the state. We're now at a point where 18% of the entire market in California of every new vehicle sold is a zero emission vehicle, ZEV. It now represents 5% of the vehicles on our roadways, more than any other state. We're leading globally. The package that Governor Newsom put together last year for the budget for ZEVs, it's a $10 billion investment over 5 years. More than many countries are doing to do both infrastructure and to pay for, to support the vehicles themselves. So a lot of robust growth in the ZEV space. And so right on the tails of that, of the growth that we're seeing in ZEVs, is also the growth that we're seeing in autonomous vehicles. We have more than 60 companies that are now testing in California. And we think it's going to be an important part of mobility moving forward. You have the trucking industry as well, the freight and trucking industry, who are also looking possibly at future testing in California, sort of to support the goods movement front. So a lot happening in the automobile space, but across the board, transit is also seeing significant growth in California. We now have a budget of roughly $7.7 billion in additional grant funding in California for transit, to grow transit and rail, high-speed rail. So as far as the future goes, I believe that technology will continue to play a key role in our ability to be able to improve capacity for people to be able to use our highway system. Transit is going to be increasingly important. And what we are able to do to maintain and operate the highway system we have today is going to be critical, because we've largely built out, in many cases, the infrastructure, the highway system that the state needs. We're not going to be building like we've done over the last 70 years as far as highways go. We've largely done that. So how do you maintain the existing infrastructure, and how do you operate it better to optimize what's already there, and then infusing it with all these other options, transit, rail, walkability, bikeability. That's going to be important, and the technology changes that we're seeing as well with ZEVs and CAVs. Look, so in California, we consider ourselves the innovation capital of the world. Right here in the Bay Area in California, it's the epicenter for a lot of innovation that's happened across the world, from TNCs like Lyft and Uber to, so in the public sector, I think we have to continue to tap into that and be open to that. I mean, we always ask them, the OEMs and the leaders in the technology transportation space, whenever we have a conversation with them, like we go tour their facilities or engage them in discussions, one of the things we always ask them is, what do we need to be doing to ensure that when your vehicle or your tool is ready to come online, that the transition is as seamless as it possibly can be. And in large part, some of the things they've asked for have been pretty basic. Like make sure your signage is readable. Make sure that your pavement markings, regardless of weather condition, make sure that it's usable. So there's a lot that we can do to support them. One of the programs that we've sort of embraced in the technology space to lead the way, if you will, is a program called CalITP, where we're looking at how transit can be more seamlessly integrated between various transportation modes in the state. If you think about it, when somebody uses a transit bus pass in California, let's say they're in the Bay Area, there are more than 20 transit agencies in the Bay Area alone. In California, more than 400 transit agencies. And they don't use the same system that an Uber or a Lyft uses, and it's not connected to micro-mobility either. So how is it possible to, in some cases, link all those systems together? In pilot areas, it's probably going to be challenging to do the entire state. But how, through technology, can you have one app on your phone or one pass that links those together? How do you think about making it more equitable for people to be able to use that system, with some type of financial support for people who are struggling with banking or have some financial challenges? So things like that we're exploring. We've got multiple agencies up that we've led the way on at CalSTA and Caltrans with the California Integrated Transportation Project that we've helped to stand up, and hopefully we see more of that growth of such a program in the state.